Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, our topic is addressing the 1.5 million housing shortage. Insights from Novogradac's report. The housing shortage in the United States has reached the apex of a catastrophic tipping point. It has become commonplace for families to go years without access to safe and reasonably priced accommodation, as the price of housing as well as rent prices continually increase at a rate greater than correlating wages. The issue is no longer confined to dense metropolitan areas, but extends to suburban and even rural areas. The housing shortage has a jaw-dropping central point. It is the 1.5 million affordable housing units that the Novogradac report highlights. The results of the investigation, though alarming, are also illuminating. This is because they pinpoint the dimensions of the issue as well as the cause, and the deficiency in policy ripe from market-driven remedies. This report is no longer simply a problem, but a diagnosis that also prescribes actions for governments, builders, advocates, and everyone to put a shift to the systems that led us down this path. Investigating the cause of the 1.5 million housing unit gap. A gap of 1.5 million housing units did not appear overnight. Such discrepancies arise due to the outcome of years of persistent challenges and unaddressed gaps in policy, as well as market imbalances. According to Novogradac, while the shortage itself is unevenly distributed, it is also determined by the region, population growth, and the economy. The most glaring issue is lack of housing. Since the 2008 Great Recession, there is a noticeable lag in the construction of new housing units when compared to the demand. During the economic downturn, construction owners were let go. Although the market recession has stabilized, there are not enough units built. The construction of new units is also hampered by the increase in the cost to construct, as well as a shortage of labor and zoning laws providing construction restrictions. Regional variations and the geography of housing need. The Novogradac report reveals the most acute and striking aspect of the affordable housing issue. It is not limited to big urban regions. While media attention is always on the coastal megacities of San Francisco and Los Angeles, not to mention New York, the problem is also present in the suburbs, small towns, and even deeply rural regions. Rent burdens and home prices continue to increase in major metropolitan regions. This phenomenon becomes evident in some parts of California, as the land cost along with the population and zoning growth reaches the hundreds of thousands. It leads one to question how families can make such a compromise in trying to afford rent to a point where it rips them from the communities they have lived in. Contributions of federal and state policies. The federal and state policies of the U.S. possess the heart of the issue as well. The report Ted Novogradac is working on regards the 1.5 million unit shortage as not simply the result of an uncompetitive market. The policies of the last several years have resulted in the crisis as they span geographic and systematic policies of government. The overlying policies of the report describe the issue as an unregulated zoning of territories and the lack of adequate federal aid on issues of housing. Innovation in financing to close the gap. Tackling the issue of financing in the case of affordable housing available to the lower levels of the income spectrum is pervasive and complex, and is well articulated in Novogradac's report. The demand for 1.5 million new housing units goes to show the level of investment required in the sector, and traditional sources of funding, as vital as they are, will fall short. Therefore, new solutions are required to bring in new funding and fast-track housing construction. This is the core dilemma of every funding agency. One practical example of this is the formation of public-private partnerships. In these types of arrangements, the dwelling units deemed to be affordable are economically unviable to produce. But the funds in these units are leveraged with public funds, and financing can be secured through a combination of loan assurances, tax relief, risk leveraging, affordable housing, and control of the end user's affordability. Social and economic impacts of the shortage. A housing shortage is more than just a lack of housing. It is a shortage of the nation's social and economic structure. Novogradac's report highlights the underestimated impacts of such a deficit, in which the deficit of affordable housing directly impacts astoundingly high levels of social deficit, even extending to the effects of healthcare and workforce availability in regions. Pathways forward, building momentum for change. The closing lesson from Novogradac's report is that, although the absence of 1.5 million housing units is alarming, the deficiency is within the realm of feasibility. The report asserts that pathways, albeit various, do exist to mitigate the housing shortage, provided they pursue it with focus and speed. For the most part, the framework includes policy changes, community-based innovations, financing that is cross-cobbled, and partnership collaborations within and across sectors. The modification of policy, like changing zoning policy and fast-tracking the permitting process, can strip away some of the most pernicious development bottlenecks. Financing, which includes public equity partnerships, community impact investing, and community land trusts, is sufficient to provide new and additional resources that also ensure long-term affordability. Bottom-up community solutions provide the context within which the issues of people are situated to foster inclusion and resilience. At last, the integration of local governance, developers, philanthropic and impact finance, civil society, and housing may be siloed, but it is possible to pull them together to align disparate capabilities to common purpose. The message of the report is that with a combination of the above-mentioned instruments, we, the society, can deal with the housing shortage, and we will contribute to a more just and sustainable society. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.